there, and welcome to this episode of Kennedy Saves the World. I have something very exciting to share. I've got 2 live dates coming up, an evening with Kennedy, that are going to be amazing and so much fun. And I love it because when I've done the Laughs and Liberty tour with Jimmy Fallon, we talk a lot about our current politics and Fox News and stuff like that. But this is actually kind of a retrospective of the different stages of my career. And I talk a little bit about my childhood and, where I grew up and jackassery and then getting into radio, how I got to MTV, because when I go out and about in the world and I meet people, a lot of times they ask, how did you get from MTV to Fox News? And then they go, well, how did you get to MTV? And so I talk about that stuff, getting into music radio at a time when music was amazing and incredibly important and changing. And then getting to MTV at the same time, grunge arrived and getting in a lot of trouble at MTV. And there were a couple of times where I almost got fired. And so I've got some incredible pictures and gifts and stories that I have not been able to share in the past, but I can finally do it in this setting and go into some of these stories in pretty graphic detail. So if you are in New York, Troy, New York, I will be at the Troy Savings Bank Music Hall on October 5th. And there will be a meet and greet. I've got some Kennedy for President shirts, which I will show you on Instagram soon enough.
Don't go anywhere. More Kennedy Saves the World right after this.
And so it's the Troy Savings Bank Music Hall, October 5th. So all of the questions that you've ever had about the different things that I've done throughout my career, and, one of the big ones is, why doesn't MTV play music videos anymore? And I always wonder, is MTV still on? I know they scrubbed the MTV.com website, which is disgusting. And, there were so many elements and so many articles that journalists who had popped in and out of MTV over the years had contributed to. And the fact that they just tried to wipe that away, like they're somehow embarrassed about what MTV has become. And, like I told you, I was having a conversation with some friends the other day. And they turned to one of my daughters and said, do you know that your mom was so cool when she was an MTV VJ? And my daughter goes, what's a VJ? And I was like, I have failed. But it is going to be really, really fun. I've got some Kennedy hats and things like that. But I hope you come to the meet and greet so we can have a chance to visit, so I can hear about your story and about your life. And then you can hear some of the wild things that happened before we had iPhones that take the kind of graphic description that I can't go into in a family unfriendly setting, but that really should bring some joy to your life. I will have another date to announce next week. So at least we have a couple of chances to get to know each other, and you will have such a good time. I absolutely guarantee it. If you long for the days of TLC and Pearl Jam all in the same place, you will absolutely love this show. An Evening with Kennedy, October 5th in Troy, New York. So meet me there. I cannot wait to meet you. And of course, I will be talking about politics. I will be talking about the election. I will do very unflattering impressions of Nancy Pelosi and Bernie Sanders and Anthony Fauci. And the other question I always get from people, where's Gutfeld? Oddly enough, we don't travel together. Maybe I can get him to come out to Troy, New York. This has been Kennedy Saves the World. I'm Kennedy.
Listen ad-free with a Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app. Oh, go ahead and leave me a review while you're there. I'd love to hear what you have to say. You've been listening to Kennedy Saves the World on the Fox News Podcast Network.